Hi everyone, it's Tina at Number Beauty. So I'm finally doing the starting over tag. I'm pretty sure it was over a month ago I saw Penelope Summers, or the lovely Penny from Makeup on a Mission, do this tag. So it's pretty much like a reset, as she said. If you're having to start over for whatever reason and build up your collection, whether it be your makeup or skincare, maybe accessories as well, what would your 10 essential items be? Now originally, when I first was looking at doing this, I thought this would be a breeze. I'm going to incorporate tools, makeup and skincare, not a problem, but it was a lot harder than I thought. And then I sort of realized, I think because, as a lot of you makeup enthusiasts would understand, is that the more we sort of see, the more we try, the much more complicated our skincare and makeup routines can become. So I sort of had to sit down and I thought back to situations where I have literally had to start over again. What were my essential items to get me through? Like, for example, when I first moved to Australia, I just had a backpack on, you know, very minimal makeup and skincare. And then in my, God, I wasn't even 30 then, late 20s, I had to sort of relocate myself to Sydney, so from Melbourne, the drive up. So all I could take with me was what I could fit in the back of the car. So very minimal makeup and skincare, but what, you know, set me up for finding work again and rebuilding my life and all that. What were my essential items? Now, admittedly, some of the actual brands have changed, but it's pretty much just the essentials. So what items? So I have actually just done 10 makeup and skincare items. I think I was a bit ambitious trying to incorporate tools. I mean, I'm sure I could have fit them in, but because my skin has sort of matured more than then, I'm in my late 30s now, I have incorporated a little bit more into it. So, but a lot of them are multi-use. So I've got about 3 or 4 additional items that I will do at the end, just as, you know, sort of add-ons, but it's going to be 10 skincare and makeup items. Anyway, let's get to it. And I also saw the lovely Natalie Patel do this, and I thought it was great. So let's do this. Let's get this thing going. And I tag everyone watching. If you want to do it, it's fine. If you want to just do 10 makeup, 10 skincare, or mix them in, or even maybe if you want to incorporate, you know, hair care into it. So I know some people aren't into makeup like I am. You might like skincare or, you know, hair care. Anyway, sure, get to it. Okay, now let's start with skincare. I've got a few essentials. Now the first one I'm going to mention is definitely one. Sorry, my poor co-producer has been sick lately, so you might hear him sort of coughing in the background. He's just resting over here. So this is one that's only came out this year, so beginning of 2014, but it's pretty much my essential item. When I was, you know, in my 20s, I must admit I was pretty slack with my skincare. I'll just be completely honest, especially when I was working 2 to 3 jobs. Sometimes I would fall into bed and not take my makeup off. It was very minimal at that stage, just maybe a bit of foundation, but when I would sort of do my skincare routine in the morning in the shower before work, and it was just whatever sort of wash that I had on. I'm much more savvy now, but to be very basic and sort of frugal, I would go for this. This is Dermasukin. Like I said, it's only come out this year. I love the Sukin range. I've been using it for years. It is an Australian range and more sort of along your natural lines. The Derma one is though for more of your sort of sensitive or oily or sort of skin. This is the Daily Gentle Wash. Now I grabbed the 1 litre bottles from Chemist Warehouse, and if you are international, you can actually buy online, and they generally ship to most countries. So that's one way you get Sukin or Dermasukin. But I use this, or the whole family uses it as a body wash. I could also use it as a makeup remover, so you can use it with or without water, which is great, which is another reason I also have a bottle in my kit, like a small bottle, pump bottle, in my kit, so I can sort of remove makeup with a pad. So it's very multi-use, obviously face, body, with or without water, something you can take with you when camping. Like, it's very similar to Cetaphil. It's a little bit runnier though than the Cetaphil cleanser. Get a proper shot there, but that's what I would go for. And I would get the large bottle, because then you can just have a little bit, you know, put a bottle in the shower and then maybe put a smaller bottle, which is what I do where your vanity is and stuff like that. So, and then buying bigger is better because it's a little bit cheaper, and then you can sort of, you know, meter out the sizes. Okay, enough on that one. And I have done a chatty version about this. I'm not sponsored or affiliated with Dermasukin or Sukin, but I'll put a link below to that video raved on about that stuff. Mugu would probably be my skincare that I would start with. Now I love Sukin as well, but I was trying to think of one that has sort of everything in it. The Sukin facial moisturizer in the standard range is phenomenal. I love the smell. It's very affordable, like the, you know, reusable containers. But this one, I think for my skin and my SPF, I would go for it. Now he's up again. It's the Mugu Anti-Aging SPF 15 facial cream, because of all the stuff it's got in it, like grapeseed, green tea extract, you know, for your antioxidants. So sort of for my more maturing skin, plus the SPF, and as a facial moisturizer. So it'd be my all-in-one. I don't actually have a primer here, but I'm thinking if I'm starting out, I only started using primers pretty much since I started watching YouTube, because I didn't know about them before then. So I just go for this as an all-round. I'll put a link below to my long-winded chat about my Mugu products. Again, not affiliated. I hate having to explain it all the time, but I feel it's necessary sometimes. Some brands I just keep going on and on about, and I'm pretty sure Mugu do have a site, or you go to the website and you can flick down to your actual country. So I think you can get it in most countries as well. Otherwise, or you know, maybe check on Amazon. I know Sukin is also on Amazon as well. Sound like an advertiser. Okay, now the next thing would be an eye cream. Now, I have been using the Olay Cucumber Eye Gel for many years. I'm talking about 15 years at least, when I was back at university doing the all-nighters, you know, and I wanted something cooling under my eye to help with the puffiness and the you know, bagginess and the, you know, coloration. But it was funny because I was going to easily mention this one, but to be honest, for the last couple of months, I ran out of my last tube. It was one of my empties videos, and I didn't repurchase this because I have so many eye creams and eye treatments to get through. And to be honest, I have not missed it. I really thought that I would. I do miss the fact that it's very, very cooling, because it is a gel consistency. You can put it in the fridge, put it under your eyes, and it's like divine. It feels divine. But I haven't really missed it. And then I've still been using any sort of eye cream at night. But my essential one for the daytime, and I can use this at night as well, which is why I'm choosing it as my 10 product. One of my 10 items is the Kiehl's Creamy Eye Treatment with Avocado. Again, it's a pricier item, but I think Kit Cosmetics brought down the pricing of Kiehl's. Originally, I think it was 52 or 54 Australian dollars, and now it's a little bit more affordable, about 40 odd dollars, but I can make this last for ages. So this I think is 6 months, so I could easily get 6 months out of this, just using a little bit under here during the day. And I always use a cream, whether it's this one or any other one, during the day. I find that if I don't sort of keep my under eye hydrated, it gets crepey under there, particularly obviously if I'm putting over my makeup. I think his antibiotics are kicked in. It gets all crepey, so I just find an eye cream during the day essential now, or it just makes my eyes sort of feel a little bit better and look a little bit better as well. So I choose this one because I've been using it for a fair few years now, probably about 4 years. Loved it. Tried many other sort of creams during the day, but I always go back to this one. It's not too tacky, but it's just very creamy. I like it, and it doesn't sort of make my makeup get in the creases, or it doesn't go all gooey or runny. It's just a good, anyway, enough of that. But my Olay one is still a great one for nighttime, and a great one if you want to keep it in the fridge as a cooling treatment. But I just feel I've finally gotten out of that rut, and I think sometimes we get into ruts. We go, oh, it's my holy grail product. Oh, I don't want to try anything else. But I haven't honestly missed it. It is cheaper. It's about 16 to 18 Australian dollars depending where you get it. I normally try and get it at Big W, or if it's on special at Priceline. But when I first started purchasing it in New Zealand, it was about 7 or 8 New Zealand dollars or something like that, when it was oil of Ulan or something. But I've gotten out of that thing, and I feel like I will go back to it eventually, but it's now not an essential. But yes, who knows, some of these might not be, but they would be, I feel, products I would go back to. You're feeling better a bit. Cool thing. Now this is sort of crossing over skincare into sort of makeup. When I'm sort of getting ready in the morning, I have some sort of lip treatment or lip balm on. And for quite a while, I've been using the Mickey Cosmetica Lip Delicious Hydrating Lip Protecting, because it's like a lip balm, a lip treatment. It's got the SPF, which is great. This is the old container, and it's just that sort of rosy sort of colour. It's similar to the Dior, was it Cream de Rose, but I feel this is better. But when they came out with the new container this year, with this, you know, very sleek and sexy sort of frosted glass. It's not the glass or very thick plastic, but the top, they downsized, so it's the same price, I think about 28 Australian dollars. but this one is 10 mils and the old size was 12 mils, the cheeky Mecca Cosmetica. But it's one that this is all round, so I could use it at night as a lip treatment. There is a Lip Delicious lip treatment for about 32 Australian dollars, but and then, or I could use my Sukin, that's another one, Sukin for like $7. But you know, as an all-round building up my collection again, I would go for this one. Night, for the daytime, under any lipsticks or other, you know, glosses and that, it's fine. Still gives a nice sort of colour. Oh, I'm pointing to my lips, I don't have it on now, but it gives a little, it sort of improves on my natural pink lip colour. And it doesn't sort of come off or feel slick. Like I've tried other sort of lip treatments and they feel very slick and sticky or tacky during the day. This just feels lovely and it gives just that slight tint of colour, and it's got the SPF. So, phew! So what number are we up to? That was 1, 2, 3. I think that's my 4th item, and I talk so much. Sorry, guys. Skipping into makeup. Now I use sort of correctors before I put on my foundation, and then if I want to sort of brighten or I want to conceal something, I'll use that over my foundation. So my corrector that I have been using for probably about 5 years is from Physicians Formula. It's called Soft Yellow. This is just the packaging, and I normally buy it on iHerb. But this is the one I'm using at the moment. It's just a bit worn, hence why I showed you the nice one, but I will swatch it. When I say soft yellow, there is another yellow, and it's probably the brighter yellow you're more familiar with in a lot of corrector palettes or kits. As you can see, it's a much closer, well, to my skin tone. So for me, this is probably a better one for correcting sort of the darkness under my eyes. I don't use it every day, but when I need to, I will put it under there. Then, you know, once my eye cream is sort of set a little bit, when it's still a little bit tacky, I'll put it over the top and then blend it in. It sets, then I put over my foundation, and then once that's set as well, I will use any concealing if I need to, or eye brightening under there. Normally I don't need to, some days I do. I have been lately because I haven't been having much sleep, but yes, that's definitely what I go to. And I think on iHerb it's about under $6 Australian. What else? As far as a foundation, now I probably would have, a few years ago, I would have picked a mineral foundation. I was loving mineral powdered foundations for quite a few years. Bella P is one of my favorites. But lately I've been just going back to BB creams. I've been mixing in a BB cream with my other BB creams, or in with a, you know, a liquid foundation or a mousse foundation to get just the right sort of match. And I like sheer, you can tell, you can still see my freckles and moles. I like sheer or light coverage to medium coverage. And I sat down, which BB cream is the one I use the most? Would I reach for the most and mix in the most? And it's this one. It's the L'Oreal Nude Magic BB Cream, the 5-in-1. I go for the light to medium. I did a review on this quite a while ago. I'll link it down below. But I originally tried it because I thought it was going to be like the Origins of Vitazing, that sort of moisturizer. You know, it comes out looking like a lotion, and then it's got the little granules in it, or pigments, and then once you rub it in, it starts to go a flesh tone. It starts to get darker and darker as you go. So it won't be that light on my skin, but I just find I can wear it on its own, very sheer, but it sort of evens out my skin tone. It feels great. And then I can mix it in with a lot of my other foundations without it sort of separating or splitting, and it gives just the right color match. So I sort of know how much to sort of put in or what ratio, but it will get, so that gradually get darker. It's more of a pinky base though. This one, what did I say, light skin tone. But so I would pick that one, and again, it's quite a pricey one. I think at price on Australia it's about $26. So like now, today I'm filming it, it's 40% off Priceline the second day, and I haven't even got it. I was waiting for the sale to pick one up, but I just, sort of medical bills, and I'm thinking I'll just save my money for Sephora, which is opening in Sydney next month. So, but it's definitely one I would go back to. It's one that I've probably about, in the last year, or last 12 months, I've used probably about 5 sort of tubes, and that's mainly because I keep mixing it. I've been experimenting, I've been trying it with other people and that. There is a darker shade though out there. Now I've got a couple more. Let's skip over to the eyes and eyebrow. Now I love Ulta 3. It's a really good cheap but good quality makeup line, similar to Essence Cosmetics and Savvy by DB, all those sorts of ones. This is a liner, and it's in brown. It's my second one. I think it's only about $1.95. Not sure if they've changed the thing again, but it's a beautiful brown, like it's a cool brown, so beautiful creamy consistency. It's great under the eye as an eyeliner, and because it's a cool brown, it's also good for my eyebrows. I don't have it on at the moment. I probably should, but they are shocking. I cannot grow them. I shape them probably poorly, but hey. But it's a beautiful creamy brown, great price point, and like I said, it's multi-use. He's trying to wear my shoes. So under, over, eyebrow, I can even smudge it and get like a crease or a V color, or use it over the lid. It's that sort of creamy. He's getting angry with my shoes. He's trying to wear my big shoes. I've got big feet. Looks taller now. Sorry guys, but you know my co-producer, it's his house too. So, so there's that one. As far as mascara, this is a little bit pricier though. I would honestly, if I had to rebuild it and I obviously had the funds, I would go for this one. If I obviously didn't, I'd just go for my CoverGirl, is it CoverGirl Lash Blush? That's a good one. But if funds were unlimited, no, just kidding. But this is Kevyn Aucoin The Volume Mascara. It's been in a lot of my favorites videos since I've been starting to use it. I just love the shape of the applicator. And this is just black. There's not much in it, I admit. There's only 5 grams for, I think it's about 38 Australian dollars, so quite pricey. The reason I mention it is because even with my CoverGirl Lash Blast, and a lot of the ones out there that are like 10 bucks, or Essence Cosmetics about $4 or so, I either have to wait a couple of days, so once I've opened it, for it to sort of, I don't know if it's dry out, so it doesn't get, it's not so tacky, it doesn't transfer, or some other mascaras that I absolutely love, they're like the L'Oreal Architect, Architect, before the 4D one, it would start to dry up, so I would only get maybe a good month or so out of it, because either start off too wet and transfer, or it would sort of dry out too quickly and then flake everywhere and get in my eyes. Or the third annoying thing is it's too bulky packaging, like that Lash Blast and some of the other ones out there have these big fat containers. It looks great, but it's really not necessary. Or they have those, obviously, the huge, you know, applicators, which I find hard to sort of get in there. So this is great for all around and stuff like that, and you can build it up, and it's easy to get off with just water, like warm water. So that's another reason. So I have to invest in a lot of sort of things to remove my eye makeup, and if, you know, worst comes to worst, I didn't have that liner, I can actually use it as my old trick back at uni, my very early days of wearing mascara. We would all use this with a Q-tip and use a mascara as our liner. But anyway, I wear contacts. I don't find this irritating to my eyes. So because it's not bulky, I'm not wasting a lot of the stuff as well. I can use it from the very first moment till it's pretty much all gone. That's another bonus. So instead of having to buy 2 in the time I'd use this, maybe, you know, 2 months, 6 to 8 weeks generally. Some, you know, if you're not using it every day, or, you know, a serial reuser during the day, probably stretch it to 3 months if you're taking very good care of it. But generally, yeah, 6 to 8 weeks. But that's why I would pay the extra money. And it's the only mascara lately that I've been swapping up and trying other ones that hasn't flaked. It does not flake on me. It does not flake on me at all. It doesn't get in my eyes. It's, love it. So it's about my 3rd or 4th tubing over to a broth. I have to have a bronzer. Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil. This is the light to medium one. You can see I pretty much hit pan on that one. I do have a backup. I love it because it's matte, so as my bronzer, and I can use it as a contour as well, just depending. So it's matte, multi sort of use. I can use it as in my crease as well. Smells phenomenal, feels great. Very light powder, you can build it up, very easy to build up. Obviously a bit pricier, but I just love the packaging, and all round a great sort of bronzer slash contour if I need. And then this is probably the most pricey item. I have done a long-winded review of this. It's the Hourglass Ambient Blush Palette, and you're thinking, why am I sort of mentioning this? Well, apart from the fact I can get 3 blushes out of it, because of the ratio mix in these 2 ones, which is Mood, but you got Mood Exposure and Luminous Flush. It also has the Mood Powder and the Luminous Powder in it. So I can actually use it, get my brush in there and use it not only as a blush, but also a highlighter, as a setting powder, as eyeshadow as well. So I've tried it. They're not, I haven't any reactions on my eyes. My eyes aren't particularly sensitive though. So an all-round multi-use, as I said, blush, eyeshadow, highlight, setting powder. because as you can see, this is my favorite sort of settings of powder, the Mood, the Pale Pink Lavender or Face Brightener. I can get my brush in there and use that. It doesn't really come up as dark though as my other full-size Mood Exposure blush, but it's still, I've been mixing the three as well to get a nice sort of radiant blush. So that's sort of why it's a multi-use one. I think 58 US, that's where I bought it from Sephora online, had it shipped over. I will link the video down below, which is why I'm only mentioning this very quickly, and I've got swatches and all that in there. But that's why, so it's more multi-use sort of product as well, and great obviously for travel and stuff. And then what I was mentioning before with my lips, so that's my 10 items. If I was sort of also rebuilding my sort of lip products, Essence Cosmetics is another great, probably my great favorite low-end but good quality makeup. So I think they're made in Poland, Germany, France, sort of stuff like that. But a lot of the lip glosses are between $3 to $5. There's foundations for about $7. Lots of different things out there. Lip liners and eyeliners are a couple of bucks. Sorry, I keep umming and ahhing. I do apologize. Nail polishes for like $3, similar to Ulta 3 as well. That's not, like I said, another good brand, but that's Australian. But I think a lot of the products in Ulta 3 are made in, I'm not sure it's China, but you know, sort of other places as well. But yeah, that's another one. And quickly, you can cut out now, because that was my essential 10 items plus just an additional mention. Cut out now, but I do have just a couple of my all-time 4 essential items, tools or accessories that I would grab. Okay, you still here? First one, you're probably going to laugh. You're thinking, why would I need it? Because tweezers. Now I was thinking when I first came to Australia, and then when I had to move from Melbourne to Sydney as well, so 2 different big life resetters, like literally building up. I came over here having no work, not knowing where I was going to live and all that sort of stuff. Same with when I moved to Sydney, and no job and that. But I always had a pair of tweezers, and you think, what the hell? I don't need tweeze anymore. But I don't tweeze around here. It's just like as we get older, we get hair in the weirdest places. I'm sorry, ladies and gents, but that's just a fact. So I get little weird growths around here that I need to pluck, and other places. But it's also something you need to have in your first aid kit. Anyway, but what I would go for Tweezerman, and Tweezerman is quite pricey, but you know, check out when this sale's on. But I've tried manicure, I've tried lots of different, much cheaper tweezers out there, but these are the ones I find the best, especially for my kit as well. Is I don't know how to describe it, the blade or the metal is cut much thinner, so you can get a lot closer to the skin without sort of damaging it. You just get nice and close and pluck. So you're not sort of really yanking out the sort of cuticle and sort of causing more damage, but it's just a lot easier to get a grip. When I've tried sort of other ones, they're so thick that you can't get there, and you're ow, 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 ow. But I would go for the slanted ones. I think they're generally about $20 to $30 or that. But I got this whole 2 set at I think Beauty Expo, the pointed ones, for about 20 or 25. It was a good price. But be warned, these pointed ones are like no other pointed tweezers out there. These are like weapons. I swear, you could just like, wah! They are super sharp. They're so sharp. So I don't use these ones on other people. More like your slanted ones, or if I've got pointed ones, I'll just use manicure or something like that. But yeah, these are good for tweezing, all those essentials. So Tweezerman, that's something that I would have. So like I said, I don't tweeze my eyebrows anymore. It's just all those very odd places that we don't really want the hair, but it just does there. What essential thing would be, like I didn't have any primers here, and I don't have any other sort of oil control. Like what's the one I've been using lately? Benefit, Dr. Feelgood, that sort of balm. I always used blotting tissues, and that's for the longest time I've been using blotting tissues. And this is the Essence Cosmetics All About Matte. You get 50 in a pack for about, oh gosh, it's only a couple of dollars, maybe about $3. I like it because a great little, there's lots out there. I like Swispers and Elf Cosmetics, but I love this way it comes out. Some of the Swispers ones, you get it in a little plastic thing, then you got to open it up, pull it out. It's too big. This is a good size, and it's easy to get to, so you just go. Of course, it doesn't work when I'm trying to show it on camera, but you just pull out a little sheet. The Essence ones, not Essence, the Elf and the Swispers ones are a little bit bigger, but you just go blop, blop. So this is why I would have an essential. Even when I was out some days I'd be working like 16 hours and I didn't wear foundation. I'd have something like this in my little pocket, you know, when I was out working on the floor and stuff like that. So not these ones. Essence Cosmetics wasn't in when I was in Melbourne. I mean, it wasn't in the country, I don't think, but it was in Melbourne. But my 2 brushes, you're thinking, where were the brushes? My 2 essentials, and these are pricey, there's no doubt about it. These are the Ray Morris ones, and I think why? These are the brand new magnetic ones. Well, not brand new, I think out the last year. Even without the magnetic palette, they're great because they do stand up. They're nice and flat and well weighted. They're great in the hand. They're great also for quite textured skin. I've got one in my kit now. And this is my personal one, which obviously needs to be deep cleansed. But I love it because it's great for liquids, cream, foundations, cream blushes as well. So again, multi-purpose. Any brush can be really multi-purpose. Hello. But I've also used it with mineral foundations. It's dense enough for sort of powders. So if you're cleaning in between, it's got a skateboard. So that's sort of why it's such a great all-round brush. Honestly, though, $70 retail, but there is a pro discount now. I think 20% off you can get for makeup artists. It's funny, actually, 1 minute he's like, as sick as, the next thing, woo! Another, like, you know, once I stop recording, he's probably going to be sick again. Poor thing. And then this one, so this is another Ray Morris. So that was the, sorry, I'm getting distracted here, the 23 liquid foundation. And all of our eyeshadow brushes, though, I lost, I think, about 4 of them. I don't know how. Well, they went walkies from my kit. They were absolutely great. So I'm actually doing a lot of makeup on more mature sort of skin or eyes, and these are like the best all round. All of the eye brushes have variations of a fine point. This is the number 7 Deluxe Point Shader. Quite pricey, but I repurchased them. They were well worth it. So I had to rebuild my collection again of the eye brushes. But yeah, they are soft. You can hardly feel them. So on a lot of eyes, people have complimented these brushes, but also on my own, they just feel great. They've got the great sort of tip and all that. I just love them. Anyway, those ones would be my sort of tools. So tweezers, blotting tissues, and they're expensive brushes, but worth it. I mean, I still buy Royal and Nicole and Elf brushes would be just as good to start off again if you were. But if I could afford it, I'd be going back to those ones. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you very, very much. I've got like 23 seconds left, so it's going to be a long video. I do apologize, but thank you. I just wanted to sort of explain the logic for these sort of items, products and stuff. So thank you. If you are doing this video, if you have, link it down below or just put your answers down below. Thank you.